What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Tuck. We about to be reacting to that Gen Z isn't having kids. Let's see what they talking about.
The other day I woke up to two things. One, Drake's OVO meal being sold out every...
Drake got a meal? The world? I have not seen that. Like Drake got a meal?
Huh?
Drake got a meal?
Who's that?
Like a meal. I didn't know Drake had no McDonald's meal.
I didn't know either.
It must have just released then.
location I went to, despite it being out for 3 days. Two, the realization that our generation might be one of the first to not be concerned about having kids at all. When I was younger, the idea of not wanting kids used to sound crazy.
Yeah, I did not like anybody who didn't want to have kids. I mean, I understand it because having kids is a big responsibility. You gotta watch them dudes, you gotta wash them dudes, you gotta spend money on them dudes. But it's a thing about keeping your generation going. You feel me? But a lot of people don't want kids. A lot of them.
I mean, all the older people around me seem to start having them hella early. Until I realized I'm now approaching the same age they started at, only to look around and notice everyone around me could care less. Since the beginning of time, humans reproducing has always been one of life's end goals. It's one of the reasons why we're here today. We've always had this innate desire to keep our species going generation after generation. If you were to go back 20, 50, and 100 years ago, you'll quickly notice two things. One, how big families actually were back then.
I knew somebody that had at least they at least got like 10 aunts and uncles. Like, families used to be big as a mug. Like, y'all gotta think about it. Like, back then when you used to go to the family reunions, like, you would have one great grandparent with a whole bunch of, like, they got 30 grandkids, 10 kids, 30 great, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got all of them Jones. Like, back then that joint used to be crazy. But like, I don't understand how that's made nowadays. Like, I couldn't see myself going, having a family reunion and I'm being the center of the family reunion. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how do you get like that? Like, what do you have to accomplish to do that? Like, how many kids you gotta have for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, one kid ain't gonna cut it. You gonna have a family dinner, you know, family reunion. Like, I mean, but like look at this. This is a big family right here. You gotta think about it. Almost every single one of these kids here probably had kids, which means they got like hella people in their bloodline. Like, you see what I'm saying? But people don't do that no more. The max is like 3, 2. I probably had like 3 kids, maybe. Probably 2. I do want a boy and a girl. But I'd rather have boys than girls. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it's just different nowadays, I guess.
Two, how young people were when starting them. During the ancient times, it was normal
I don't think, let me see.
back then. Two, how young people were when...
I mean, I don't think 22 is that young. I want to have a kid by at least 22, at least 21, because I don't want to be old with young kids. Like, by the time my kids hit 18, I at least still want to be 42, 40, 43. I don't want to be 56 at my kids' graduation, but that's not bad. 50 ain't bad, but like 60 at your kid's graduation and your grandkids is born and you 75, I mean, like, that's not me. That's not my forte.
During the ancient times, it was normal for motherfuckers to be starting families before they even turned 18. For baby boomers, the average time frame to be having kids was around 21 to 25. In other words, their early to mid 20s. But when you fast forward to today's time, fuck no. The thought of people having kids in our generation is hardly ever there, and even when it is, it's quickly shut down or postponed for the same reasons every damn time. I'll never forget this one time I went out for lunch with a few of my colleagues.
I'm positive on crazy, but I feel like if you wanted to have kids, you can make it happen. You just gotta, I'm not saying be in a terrible position, you on the side of the street getting cracked and you having kids, but I mean, like, if you got a job, I feel like you can make it happen. It's gonna be a little hard, but you can make it happen. Like, people shouldn't have kids to have a burden. They should have kids to, you know, continue their bloodline and keep their generations going. You feel what I'm saying? Because, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having kids. You just have to take care of your kids and actually want to have kids. Because, like, the problem is a lot of people is having kids too young when they're not wanting to, like 16, 15, 30, crazy numbers. But then the older people don't want no kids. So it's like, ain't no kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people is held back from having kids because their parents don't want them to have no kids right now because they so stuck on having kids being a burden. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I mean, it's a lot, man. But I feel like I mean, I feel like we can pick up. If not, it might be over with for us humans, man.
Now, one of them specifically was on the slightly older side of Gen Z, as he was born in '98. And as conversation was flowing during our lunch break, I just couldn't help but ask him, "Yo, bro, you ever think about like wanting kids? I mean, society says you're now at that age to be."
Hell no.
Oh, my fault. Why not?
They're too expensive. I can't afford it.
And at the time, I thought to myself, what the hell is this guy on about, bruh? I mean, imagine saying another human being simply costs too much to have. And then I thought just a little bit more and eventually realized how expensive having children actually is. Despite how beautiful having kids may seem, you'd be bringing in new life, start experiencing new beginnings. You'd have a little version of you and your partner running around. But do the expenses start to add up quickly? Because you ain't just responsible for you and your partner's expenses no more. You now have to factor in your child too. I'm talking.
I mean, but like I was saying before, I know I keep pausing this, John. It's only a 10-minute video, so I got as much time, Listen, back to what I was saying, though. You gotta think about it. Like me and my girl, we go out to eat. Now, when she don't have money and I have to pay for her, or I don't have money, she has to pay for me. That's double the expense. So you gotta think about you adding a third person. But most times, out of 10 times, most times. The most expensive times it's usually around like maybe the baby stage, and I don't know no other stage, but I know like the baby stage and maybe the teenage stage, because you got to think about it. As a baby, you got to buy Pampers. I mean, if you breastfeed, that's a less cost. I mean, but some people don't want to breastfeed. Some people can't breastfeed, so people do the formula. You know what I'm saying? So that's more money, but after they get to like eating solid foods, like ain't no kid like say right here what she eating right now. She got this, boom, boom, boom. Ain't no kid gonna finish this. Ain't no kid gonna finish that. The kid might eat at least 5 French fries. So you want the kids, man, you think you get them by the cheeseburger and some French fries. For real, they ain't gonna finish the whole thing. But it's just like, I mean, you just have to learn how to use your money. I mean, it's only expensive to people who make it expensive. Like, I mean, I'm not saying don't do for your kids or don't have as much as you can have for your kids. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you have kids, you have to be ready for the kids to be the top priority. So, I mean, like I said, if you want to have kids, you can make it happen. You don't have to be the richest in the world. And it's not that expensive to have kids. It is. I mean, I don't have kids, so I can't be talking, but I just feel like if you do as you should, I mean, if you put that grind in, you're going to have your kids. And you think about it, you have kids, you have no choice to grind. You feel me? That can be something that pushes you to do better for your life, to do better for yourself. Because a lot of people, they have life changes after they have kids, for real. So I'm like I said, like this little dude right here.
For you and your partner's expenses no more. You now have to factor in your child too.
Asking for a burger, like that's fine. I mean, that's just like me. I'm 18. I spend my money kind of crazy. Like I do spend my money crazy right now. You feel me? Like me and my girl, we went to like the seafood place. I spent like $70, $80 on random stuff. Like she got something, hers was like 40. We got the same thing, but I got the extra, all the extra. Then she tipped $11. I tipped $12, and mind you, we're not rich. We are not rich. We work at Walmart. We is not rich, but it's just like even doing that now. I don't have the most bills in the world, but like I said, I got a car payment. I got car insurance. You know what I'm saying? That's not the craziest stuff. But it's still enough to the point where, like, I feel like, I mean, if I wanted to have a kid right now, I feel like I could, but I wouldn't do that since I'm still living with my mother, so I wouldn't do that to her. You feel me? And that'd be kind of harder to get to work. Now, if you don't have nobody to watch your kids for you, like a parent, or that's mostly it. If you don't got no parent, you usually over it, for real, because, I mean, that's an extra expense on daycare. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of money, but yeah.
I'm talking, if you were to have a child in today's time, like right now, as soon as that nigga makes it out the womb, you now have to get them diapers, pacifiers, baby food, bibs, cribs. The list goes on and on.
But most people do the method to do baby showers, so I mean.
Fast forward a few more years, it's time for lil bro to start school, which means you now need school clothes, school supplies, books, snacks, and money for field trips.
I mean, that's straight though. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to keep pausing it, but I'm just trying to let y'all know, like, okay, me personally, okay, I don't have a lot of bills like I told y'all before, but me personally, when you buying school supplies, my son is not having we're not doing the extraness. Like, we go, it's gonna be $1.97, you know what I'm saying? The cheapest school supply you can have. I mean, if I'm tight, if money was really tight like that, but if it wasn't, Obviously, if my son want the exoskeleton scissors, he can have that. The switch scissors, the auto scissors, he can have that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's not really a point of back to school, because back to school shopping for clothes, that's like easy, because I mean, it's not slight. Like I said, it's still a lot of money, but kid clothes is not that expensive. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, it gets to the point like where they get a little bit older, and some kids grow differently. So that means some kids grow faster, which means at a faster rate, you'll need to spend more money on more clothes. But like I keep saying, I feel like it's doable. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it right now. So I really can't talk, but I can, I can tell y'all how I feel and what I think. You know what I'm saying? But let's go.
And when they're not at school, but instead at the crib, they'll probably want some entertainment. Toys, action figures, puzzle pieces, or Lego sets. Or maybe they don't want to be in the crib. So here come the extracurriculars. Sports teams, dance classes, or some musical lessons. A couple years later, your kid is now entering their adolescence. So here comes the wants for nicer clothes, nicer shoes, more electronics, probably a phone to get a hold of you, and hopefully some bitches as well. And then eventually it's time for them to go to a university or a college. And don't even ask me where the hell you're getting the money for that. I have no idea where that's coming from. When you take all these things into consideration,
I mean, most kids, if one thing I'm gonna tell my kid, if I don't have it yet, by the time my kid is in college, by the time my kid is at the time where he going to graduate, if I don't have it, I'm gonna let my kid know that I don't have it. Like, personally, if I wanted to go to college, if I would have went to college, I would have either had to go to the military or I would have had to get a scholarship. But I mean, if you want it hard enough, if I wanted to go to college and I wanted it hard enough, good grades will get you the scholarship you need. Or you feel what I'm saying? I mean, if you have to go to the military, you can do that. So you don't always have to put the college tuition on your back. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so that's another reason why I feel like that shouldn't be a reason. I mean some stuff, some things are different, but let me stop yapping. I'm not gonna pause for the next segment that he talk about.
it don't take long to realize how expensive having a child actually is. Not to mention, this is just for one kid. That's it, one kid. And a lot of us have siblings. So you now have to multiply this amount by however many kids you end up having, and then place that amount on top of your current expenses. And in today's time, niggas could barely even afford themselves. It's not just financial reasons as to why our generation isn't really focused on kids. Nowadays, it seems like people are starting to consider multiple factors before starting families, compared to...
I mean, that's smart though, that's not dumb. I mean, like I said, if you can't do it, if you feel like you can't do it, and you having a kid feel like it's gonna be more of a burden than a blessing, I mean, don't do it. I mean, that's smart to be thinking before you do it. But if you not having kids because you just don't feel like putting up with the extraness, I mean, like I said, that's your choice, but it's not. Never mind.
To the niggas before us who seem to just start popping babies because society told them to. Studies show that 69% of couples who had a kid before they got married were already split up before the kid even turned 15. So it ain't a surprise that most people would prefer being married before actually having...
Hold on, one more thing. Me, I at least want to have some money though, because it's expensive. No. Let me switch it. Let me not say money. I at least want to have my own place, and at least have lived in my own place for at least a year. Like, I want to at least be really an adult. You know what I mean? An adult, and have a freedom before I have to have kids and watch them. That's reasonable, but I'm not the reason I'm not trying to have a kid right now is not because not because I don't feel like I could afford a kid, because like I said, if you have to, you have to. But just the fact that I don't want to, like, at the moment right now, I want to at least get my stuff together, get me a place, you know what I mean, move out. Then I start thinking about talking about kids, but I just turned 18, I'm freshly 18, you feel me? I'm barely an adult. I can't even go do anything, you know what I'm saying? I ain't 21. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said at least 21. At least I still want to have kids. You know what I'm saying? I just want to wait a little bit. You feel me?
Children. But that now involves actually finding someone you like, that likes you back, then falling in love, while staying committed to each other for an extremely long time. I'm sure we're all more than aware of modern relationships, which is why I ain't even surprised hella people tapped out a while ago and couldn't care for serious ones anymore. Every now and then I'll come across some form of a video of people in our generation having a different reason as to why they don't want to have children. Some people are selfish.
Selfish as so I wouldn't have no kids. Niggas get mad when I say this, but at least I'm honest. Cause right now, if it's between me and them, I'ma choose me every
You're doing too much moving over there. Chill out.
Time.
Some don't want to deal with the stress.
I don't want to deal with the stress of raising a child, right? Because it's stressful. It may.
See, I mean, I actually like this guy. I actually like him. I used to watch him all the time. But me personally, like I said, I might be acting real naive right now. You know, I might be acting a little naive, but I don't know, bro. I mean, I have little siblings, but it's like, I mean, you know, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. You feel me? Maybe it is super stressful. Maybe it's hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't have the resources that you need to have kids right now. You feel me? So I mean, I guess they might be right. Maybe I'm being a little naive. You know.
You're less free.
Some hate the sound.
That's why I don't want to have kids though, because you'll be less free. I mean, I want to have kids, but not right now, so I at least have some freedom. You feel what I'm saying?
Of them crying 24/7. Some people still feel like they're kids themselves. And if we decide to take a step back and look at this concept through a different lens, some women now seem opposed to the idea of even having a person develop inside of them.
The thought of there being a parasite-like thing growing and living inside of me.
Others claim they don't want to go through the pain or destroy their body. Some would prefer to travel the world without them.
You could do both. You could have kids and travel. Now!
But the one thing I can take away from all these examples is that our generation seems to really value our independence and the little freedom we may have. So you can just imagine what it would look like when it's us who has to be responsible for taking care of someone else.
Oh my gosh, babe, he's been crying for the last 2 hours. I don't know what I should do.
I think you gotta rock him back and forth repeatedly while like patting his back.
No shit, David. Obviously, I'm doing that already. But he keeps pointing at your cereal. I think he wants a bowl of your Reese's Puffs.
My Reese's Puff, that's the last bowl of Reese's Puffs in that box. Tell that nigga to get a job. When you look outside your window, the average life consists of waking up, probably working a job you couldn't give a fuck about, and then rinse and repeating for 50 years.
That's reasonable.
A lot of people also spend their entire life being in some form of debt or living paycheck to paycheck. Technology is deadass on the brink of taking over the entire planet. Some of the most powerful or influential figures are straight just doing some shady things behind the scenes or completely inhumane acts, to a point where we've all just become desensitized to hearing craziness on the news or even the damn internet. Social media continues to distort our perception of reality. I could keep going. And now that I'm looking at it, it all just leads to the same question. If I'm aware of all of this, why the f would I then make the conscious decision to wrap someone into this mess with me? Now, to be fair,
Because it's not that bad. Like, people act like life is just terrible. I mean, some people's lives aren't the best, but life itself is not crazy. Like, it's not, like, you act like you trapped with somebody for the rest of their life. Like, life is kind of beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's nice to live a life. I mean, even if your life is messed up, at least you live life, man. You feel me?
Wouldn't really be paying attention to a majority of this for the beginning of their life. I mean, the first 18 years is pretty much the tutorial phase anyways. But what I'm supposed to tell my young niggas once that runs out and the inevitable reality hits, which is quickly followed with a bunch of questions, when they come ask me why the world is the way it is, or how we went from sticks and stones to paying endless forms of taxes,
Well, then you just say you don't know. I mean, it's fine to not know. You don't have to be the all-knowing, bro. It's fine to say you don't know. I mean, you don't have to. I mean,
won't have answers.
let me stop hate farming this video, bro. I'm just trying to watch the video and just, you know, get y'all some content. But like, I am kind of going kind of hard on, bro. And he just dropping some heat. He's just trying to help everybody else drop some heat, trying to tell them what to do. You feel me? And I'm kind of hating on, bro. Let me stop. I'm done.
As time goes on, I'm noticing for some reason there's this disconnect between Gen Z and the older generations when people say they don't want to have kids. Although it may seem like our generation is completely against the thought of having kids, well, some are, but I can almost guarantee for most people, if the economy or even the damn world wasn't in the current state it's in, people wouldn't be thinking this hard about actually having them. In the past, people used to just have kids once they hit a certain age in their life because that was considered to be one of the final or next steps. It's still somewhat considered that today. Only difference is the world wasn't in the state it was back then. People could deadass afford to not think and still end up completely fine. I always find it funny when some people in the older generation seem surprised at the younger people for not wanting to have kids young or even at all. as if we didn't see how much they struggled with managing to raise us. I remember this specific morning at one of my old jobs where I overheard a conversation between two of the older ladies, one of which was talking about how expensive it was to put her children through daycare.
Like Zach and Cody recently had to start going to daycare because me and my husband are always at work. And all I can think about is how expensive it is. But like, we have no choice because who is going to take care of the kids?
And at the time, I was the youngest at this job and also had no kids. So obviously I couldn't really relate to anything they were talking about. But the only thing that was going through my head is how much I didn't want to relate to that at all. The thought of bringing people into this world yet struggling to support them ain't sound too appealing whatsoever. But because this was considered a societal norm back in the day, a lot of them genuinely see no issue with it. When you look at artists, athletes, or any people who succeeded in their craft, it's common for a lot of them to drop the Hall of Fame line, they didn't really have a lot of money growing up, which in itself isn't a bad thing. You shouldn't be shunned for your financial circumstances. But it just goes to show how many of us are a byproduct of this exact mentality. One thing I've noticed that's causing this disconnect is that a lot of them didn't have the internet to access as much information like we do, whether it being good or bad. Despite social media being its own form of poison for a bunch of different reasons, there's hella power in being able to connect with a bunch of niggas from all around the world and share perspectives and bounce ideas off of each other. Because a lot of older generations didn't have this, so it's kind of like they just lived within these echo chambers of normalized behaviors that may have not been normal at all. Like having kids too early, or better yet, at a point where you can't really afford them. The old saying goes, just because everyone is able to have kids doesn't mean everyone should. And for some reason, it always be the motherfuckers who are in no position whatsoever to have children who want them the most. I'm sure we all know those people we watched have kids in their late teens or early 20s, and you can't help but feel for that kid because their parent is practically a kid themselves. All in all, our generation is facing a very interesting experience when it comes to the thought of having kids. People are realizing how expensive starting a family actually is. A lot of us are starting to think deeper about the topic rather than just babies are cute. Some of the older generation is looking at us sideways for these thoughts, blah blah blah. There's a reason why the birth rates have hit an all-time low. I mean, you tell me, do you think our generation is opposed to having kids because we still feel like we're kids ourselves?
I would say people, the older people who look at you like when you gonna have kids, if that's fine to do. If you gonna be the ones watching them when something happens and somebody needs to be and kids need to be watched, people need to go to work and kids need to be watched. That's fine. If that's what you gonna be and that's how you gonna do, that's fine to say, when you gonna give us a grandbaby? When you gonna? But if that's not what you gonna do, that's not what you want to do. If you're not trying to watch nobody else's kids, don't try to persuade people to have kids that don't have time to watch them. You know what I'm saying? Like. And then it's like, bro, he talking, hold up, let me go back, bro.
Tell me, blah, babies really are cute. There's a reason why the birth rates have hit an all-time low. I mean, you tell me.
Hold on, I think I lost what I was going to say. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
These are
I ain't gonna lie.
Some of the
you got it that time. I ain't gonna lie. I forgot what I was gonna say. I think this what I was gonna say. I'm tripping.
older generation is looking at us sideways for these thoughts, blah blah blah. There's a reason why the birth rates have hit an all-time low. I mean, you tell me, do you think our generation is opposed to having kids because we still feel like we're kids ourselves? Or are there other factors, we just mask it behind not wanting them?
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. The only thing is, like, okay, it's cool not wanting to have kids, but when you get to being 50 and 60 and you don't got nobody to look after you, you see everybody else with their grandkids and their kids and see what their kids and their grandkids doing, and you have nothing, you're alone, you're by yourself. That's when it becomes a problem, and then you regret your decision to not have a kid. But if you can't have kids, it's something entirely different. Because I mean, that's nothing you cannot help that. You feel me? But yeah.
I gotta cut this shit off again, man. I'm starting to sound crazy again, bruh.
Kiss that, kiss that, kiss that, kiss that, kiss that.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe, bro. I'll catch y'all on the next jump. Boom.